Welcome to the Queen's Conversations podcast, the official podcast for United Kweendom, LLC, hosted by Teddi Rene. Hello again and welcome to the Queen's Conversations podcast. I am your host, Teddi Rene, and I am so excited. I am really excited just to kind of give you guys some insight and updates on what I've been doing, what I've been up to. It's been great. I am just coming off of One Music Fest in Atlanta, so my voice is a little, I don't know what you want to call it, but it is, okay? So before we get into the episode, I want to just say thank you to everyone who has supported the podcast so far, who keeps coming back, who keeps sharing, liking, listening, giving feedback, insight, telling me what you enjoy, telling me how on point these topics are and how they are affecting your life and how they're right on time and how it's a word for you. Also, thank you for those who are, telling me about the background noises and the clicks and the unedited versions of the podcast episodes that I actually put out. A lot of times I will do that on purpose because I want to hear it so that as I'm developing and growing through this journey of podcasting and being a podcast host, I can be more aware of those habits and things that I do myself. Like, I'm not a voiceover professional. I am not a vocalist of any sort. So actually learning what the microphone is picking up is helping me to minimize a lot of the breathing and focusing on those mouth smacks. They're so annoying. But again, I put them in there so I can start learning and be mindful of those things. So I absolutely appreciate all of the feedback, even in regards to that stuff. I really, really do. For those of you who are joining for the first time, welcome. I hope that you enjoy everything that we have here for you. I hope that you will come back, that you will share, like, subscribe, follow on Instagram, all of those great things, and that you'll also contribute to the conversation with your feedback, insight, critique, questions, comments, concerns, everything. So just a little housekeeping before I really dive into the topic and the conversation for today. The United Kweendom website, unitedkweendom.com, is under renovation. And a big part of that is because I am coming off of some amazing training and moving into the next phase of what United Kweendom will be, and I'm just really excited. So there are a couple of waiting lists there. If you would like to be a member of United Kweendom, you can sign up for that waiting list as soon as we are back to accepting applications and taking on new members. You will be the first to know, but you have to drop that email address, drop your name, and let us know that you're interested. Some changes that are happening with United Kweendom involve also allowing service providers to host their websites, to run their businesses from United Kweendom. We are directed and geared towards servicing and providing for Black women, but it is open to all women. Unfortunately, at this current time, we do not have a network for our brothers, for the fellas, but we are working on that as well. So stay tuned. We will have a space for you at some point as well. I won't say soon, but we will. So for ladies who are online entrepreneurs, who sell courses, content, who use Zoom or ConvertKit, email subscription, any of that, if you are currently paying for any of those subscriptions to run your business, you want to get on the United Kweendom Tribe Leader waitlist, because the things that we have in store for you are not going to be something that you want to miss. You're actually going to want to get access to them early. So join the waiting list. There are 2. Also, if you're just curious about United Kweendom as a whole and everything in general, you can always sign up for our emailing list. All of this is at unitedkweendom.com. You can also get to the podcast, to the blog, and contact us if you need to, want to, or just want to say hey. All right. So, like I said, a part of that is due to the next phase of United Kweendom. So this episode is titled A Venture Adventure, and it absolutely so far has been an adventure. Me taking this journey into creating and building United Kweendom, into what I have, this vision I have in my head, and what has been placed on my heart has been full of ups and downs. It has been so rewarding, number one, at this point. And it has opened my eyes and my heart and my spirit to a lot of things about myself and about other people that I never would have had access to or known otherwise, both good and bad. And it's also helped me to remember a lot about who I was before and who I am. I absolutely appreciate and love all of the challenges that are coming from this. So for those of you who are not as familiar with me in United Kweendom, I started United Kweendom when shortly after my mom passed away. And I say shortly, but it wasn't shortly. My mom passed away in 2015. I started United Kweendom. It started as a thought sometime in 2017, actually. And it was a result of me realizing that the progress and the growth that I had made, and at that time, it had been less than a year. But the amount of progress and growth that I had made in my career, in deciding on what I wanted to do with my life, in creating a plan for my life, in my finances, in my credit, because my credit score was busted. Just the progress that I had made was almost wholly in part to the people that I was presented in life at the time, to the people that I had access to, the people that were brought into my life, and the way that I utilized and leveraged those connections to create my own path and to make things happen on my own. And I say my own, but I mean just from my head, not a handout, not something given to me, which was kind of how my life had been prior. My mom was a very giving person. She was a Taurus. We were the best of friends and the worst of enemies all at the same time. But the one thing that no one could ever say about my mom was that she was selfish. They could never accuse her of keeping a good thing to herself. She always gave and shared, and being her child was no different. When she had it, she would give and give beyond what she had, because she knew that she had the capacity to get it back and then some, right? So as I'm picking up the pieces to my life and putting things together after her death and trying to actually decide what I wanted to do with life, because I hadn't done that prior, I was just kind of coasting. I was noticing the access to knowledge and wisdom that I had within the people that I had access to. And I would share that with my friends and my personal network when they would come to me about a question. And that's the one thing that has always been a part of my life. No matter how or where I was in life or what type of position I was in, there was always someone asking me for help, asking me for advice, asking me for insight. And I'm sitting here don't you know that nowhere near having it all together am I? Okay. But I never let that stop me from providing what I did have to other people. So this was no different. I was, people were asking what do you think about these thoughts for my business? What do you think I should do as far as these products? What about branding? What about, packaging? What about this and that? Do you know anyone who can help me with this? Do you know anyone that can help with that? And my answer was most of the time, yes, I do know someone who can help me with that. Yes, I do know someone that can, give you more insight on that. No, that's not my lane, but let me reach out to so-and-so. We were just having this conversation the other day, and it just turned into a thought wow, this little bit of giving that I can do and that I am doing is having major impact on the lives of these few people. Wouldn't it be great if I could do this on a larger level? How would I start that? What would that look like? Am I the most qualified for that? Is that something I should even... Like, my life's not even all together. Why would people listen to me? Like, what is it? Do I really have something to offer, or is this all in my head? Is it the ego that is, like, telling me that, you know, you actually have something that others might need, or is it something factual? And because of these thoughts, I'm not going to say doubts. I didn't do the research, right? I just kept pushing the thoughts to the side. And I would mention it here and there to people, and they would all say, yeah, you know, it sounds like a great idea. I think you should kind of pursue that. At least look into it and see if there's a market for it. See if people out there are actually looking for this, and then go from there. And even though people were telling me, kind of reassuring me that you should at least research, I didn't. I refused. Like, I was just like, no, I'm okay. Like, let me just focus on me, and let me just help my circle of folks. And I did that for about another 9 months, just like a baby, right? Another 9 months, I just sat on it, and I waited, and it kept coming back to me. You know, I'm one of those people who believes that if you let something go, and I mean, in like your mind, if you say, whatever, and you let it go, if it keeps coming back, you have to start taking notice. And it kept coming back. Through that 9 months, it wasn't like it came back once or twice. It was like a very regular, to the point where I was like deliberately ignoring it. Like, I was acknowledging that it was there, and then I was acknowledging that I was ignoring it. I was choosing to ignore it. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. I can't even tell you why. I don't want to say I was scared. I just didn't want to, you know? I didn't want to, period. So fast forward to about February the next year, 2018. I was at work, and I cannot remember what pushed me to create my first like Instagram page and post, but I did it, right? And then when I did that, the next thing that I really remember about like starting this journey was, before all of that, I, somewhere within that 9 months, I decided to get a logo made, right? I had my friend Preston, hey Preston, who I went to college with, Torre France, amazing graphic designer. I, shot some ideas at him, and we came up with the United Kweendom as the name, right? And then also the logo. I was like, I just want it to be, it has to have purple, it has to have teal. I want a crown of some sort, and I want to use this font. And I found some funky font in somewhere. I think I got it from Creative Marketing. And, we kind of picked the font, and we played around with the name because I didn't really have one. And we threw some things around, and we were talking about Kwendom, and we want to be united and together. And I was thinking of Kwanzaa, because I just wanted it to be something where we create an ecosystem of just unity and networking, and together we work, and together we win, and together we, share, and we buy and thrive off of each other's goods and services all together, United Kweendom, start thinking about Kwanzaa, right? Community, collective work, collective economics. And the KW on Kwendom was just I don't remember. Preston, I don't know, post a message on Instagram and remind me how those conversations went, because they I remember the general, but I don't want to start, making up stuff and it end up being a whole nother story. But anyway, so months go by. I have this logo. I love it, right? First of all, if you look at the official logo for, the official emblem for United Kweendom, right? The square one. In the background, the underlay, there's a photo of my mother and I. And United Kweendom is kind of a way that I also honor my mother and all of her, not even just her great qualities, but all of her qualities, all that made her who she was. Because like I said, at the end of the day, we were best friends and enemies all at the same time. She was my biggest cheerleader, but she was also, it seemed that she was quick to criticize. And a lot of that stuff I didn't realize was a part of her trauma and her pain. She, when she passed away, I found out that she was diagnosed as bipolar. Now it makes a lot of our relationship make a lot more sense. But United Kweendom is kind of a way to honor her, she didn't always have the best method or go about things the best way. She didn't always, do things the way others would or in a traditional sense. She did nothing in a traditional sense, first of all. But I always refer to her as my real life Shiro because of everything she'd overcome, the distance that she traveled in life, up, down, and back again, just everything that she had accomplished. And then just the fact that she was always still so giving, so caring, so loving and concerned for other people, that she gave as much as she could and gave to the point where she gave more than she had at times. And so I honor her and build United Kweendom on the premise that we all have something to give, even when there's nothing left. But getting people into the habit of leaning on others for support when they have nothing left, whether it be your community, your circle, or, your higher power. Like when you do not have the strength or the resources yourself, lean on that thing and allow that to provide and sustain you until you recharge. And that was kind of my mom. She unfortunately was the one that a lot of people leaned on. And my one of the things that I wish that she would have was more people to lean on. She did have some people she could lean on. My aunt was one of them. My grandma was another. But I just wish that she had a queendom of her own that she could, give to, get back from on a regular basis to the point where she expected it. So the underlay of that is a photo of my mother and I when I was younger. So like when he showed me that, I was just like in tears. Like I was like, oh my God, bro. Like I was crying, like on the phone, like crying, because it meant so much to me. Fast forward to February, I made the Instagram page, I posted the account, and I don't know. I just started putting stuff, grabbing pictures of famous women, putting quotes of them on it, adding the logo, posting on Instagram. And we got a pretty decent response. Like I didn't expect anyone to follow it. Honestly, I didn't know what I expected. I had only done a little bit of market research. I knew that there were similar things or things that had bits and pieces of what I thought United Kweendom could be. I didn't even have a fully fleshed out vision of United Kweendom. It was just literally start before you're ready, jump, and pray that you figure out how to land on your feet before you hit the bottom. And that's what I do remember sitting down on the anniversary of my mother's death and just feeling so emotional. I didn't realize what day it was. It wasn't until my line sister Tamisha texted me like words of encouragement that I realized that today is March 5th. Like that makes sense why my energy and my spirit is just so bothered today. Like I was listening to I think I actually created my playlist that kind of cheers me up now. But I remember being on Instagram and just posting photos, quotes, music, things that I needed to hear at the time, and getting such amazing responses like, oh my God, that's right on time. Oh my God, I needed to see that. Oh my God. And like the followers started rolling in and I was like, wow, bro. Like, I think like in the first month we had like a couple hundred followers. And to me, that was amazing because at the time I want to say I had maybe 600 or 700 followers on my personal page. Like it was Instagram. Like it's not, to me, it wasn't a business thing. It was just a place to go and share. Things have changed. I mean, that was only a couple years ago, like last year, actually. Things have changed drastically in the land of Instagram since then. But it was just nice, right? So those were really early days. In April, I decided, I should probably, figure out how to monetize this idea because I have expenses, right? So I was like, if I'm going to create a space for us, I have to be able to make enough money to pay for the website hosting. And at the very least, like I was doing a lot of listening to podcasts at this point. I was just getting started. I was looking at a lot of the people on different podcasts like Malik Till's podcast and Side Hustle Pro. Hashtags and Stilettos. And I was listening to these women's stories and I was inspired, and I was listening to like their methods and how to do this and how to do that. And I was like, okay, so I started looking into different technology, into different apps, and I put it out there. I said, okay, we're going to open up some applications because an application is how you do anything, right? You apply, you either say yes or no, like you allow and accept the amount of people and the type of people that you want to be associated with. So I did that. And we got 9 members of United Kweendom from that initial application opening. And at the time, I'm listening to all these things saying, oh, you got to create scarcity. You got to limit things, give them VIP access. And I'm just like, all right, cool. So I closed down access. No more applications. And in hindsight, I'm glad I did, but I wish I'd done it a different way. And at the time, I didn't have anything to give them. I had a website that they can log into, but I didn't have any content for them. I didn't have any motivation for them. I didn't have any tools for them. I didn't have any resources. And I'm looking at all these different places and I'm trying to get guidance on it. And I'm just like, there's so many. There are so many, y'all. There are so many, right? And everyone's saying the same thing, but different. And it's hard to figure out like which is the right for you. And I did this for a while. I mean, to an extent, I still do it. But it was not until I actually said, okay, stop. What is it that you want? What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want this to be? And how do you want to present this? That I started coming up with different things, right? And y'all know me. I like to do a lot all the time. However, the issue was I was also in grad school. I was also in a custody case. I was also looking for housing because my mom's house was in foreclosure. I was also navigating relationship issues, both romantic and platonic, friends, family, lovers. Like I was also dealing with still grieving, right? I'm still grieving. I was also dealing with parenting, and my son was having behavior problems that I just could not get a handle on. And this just made me feel some kind of way because, Teddi, this is what you did. You were in behavior modification. You were training to be a behavior analyst, and your son's behavior sucks. Like it was a lot. I was also changing careers, right? So all of this stuff was happening, and I just could not give the time and energy to United Kweendom the way that I wanted to. So at the same time, I'm looking for direction on trying to create a system and a strategy that works best for me, best for my community, that serves our purposes. And you know, over time, I kind of got a foothold on some things. And a lot of those things were in regards to my personal branding and my personal expertise. What is it, Teddi, that you specifically can offer to your audience? What is it about you that they resonate to? Because they didn't join United Kweendom because of the community. There was no community. They joined United Kweendom because of you. And that is what I focused on first, and still focusing on finding my voice and creating my own lane so that I myself can be a part of the United Kweendom community. Because again, I want to create an ecosystem. The whole premise of United Kweendom is that there's always someone walking right next to you who's in a place similar to where you are in life, right? Who has a different experience than you that you can share with them. There's always going to be someone ahead of you who has been exactly where you are that can also give you insight on what your next steps may be. And all this time, there's somebody behind you that you can give back to that's going to be where you are, that you can give insight and guidance to, so that they don't have to deal with some of the struggle that you dealt with. That's why I created United Kweendom. I don't want people to have to go through the super difficult parts or have to figure out what they should do next, or what are my options in changing a career, or why is it that I do procrastinate? I didn't even know I was procrastinating. Like, those are the things, the keys to my transformation, and those experiences are the ones that I have decided to hone and to speak on and to create content on and provide for. I found my lane. Now, what does that mean for United Kweendom? Well, it means a lot. Because now I'm at a point where, I want this to be an ecosystem. I know what I know. What else do I need? Whom else do I need? What else is my community looking for? So I started doing some high-level recruiting for service providers. I have a list of people that I would love to have join the community, but why would they join it, right? All of these questions are things that I'm constantly asking myself daily. Now, fast forward to, because I don't want to give away everything that's happening at United Kweendom, but fast forward to about 6-7 weeks ago, I if you don't know, I'm a recent graduate of Founder Gym. Founder Gym is a program that helps underrepresented founders with navigating the fundraising process. So for those who want to grow and scale large businesses, like $1 billion businesses, it often takes funds. Some people can bootstrap it, but a lot of people collect funds in exchange for equity into their venture or lots of things, right? Founder Gym helps you to number one, decide if that is something that you should be pursuing, and then how to do that as an underrepresented founder, right? So by chance, I'm just saying, by happenstance, was I even a part of this program for a few reasons. Number one, I signed up or applied to Founder Gym as a response to one of their free masterclasses. Hey, if you apply to Founder Gym by this date, you'll get access to this free masterclass. I said, oh. And the masterclass was, is fundraising for me or something like that? Or should I fundraise? And I literally at the time, this was a question that was going to my head. Like, what exactly is fundraising? Should I fundraise? Is this something that I need for United Kweendom? Because clearly, yes, I absolutely want more money. But what does that mean? Someone had offered to give me money for Paraphernalia University in exchange for equity. I knew what equity was in the higher sense of that, but I didn't know what the implications of agreeing to that would be. So I told them, at this time, that's not something I'm interested in. And literally weeks later, the Founder Gym thing happened. And this is essentially how things have been going for me as far as direction on this journey. I will be presented with a thought or an idea or a question or a situation, and I will, I'll write it down, I'll pray on it. Sometimes I literally just pay it no mind. And then, and I mean this, like within like a day or maybe at the most a week, an opportunity for further research or insight into that will present itself. So, and when I say like the Founder Gym thing, like that just was happenstance. Like there was no evidence that I was supposed to be a part of Cohort 10, except for the fact that, I had submitted my application to get access to this masterclass. The next thing I know, I'm getting an email saying, hey, you've made it to the next round. And I'm like, great. How do I do that? Like, what's next? And I kind of just, followed the next steps. They would send me an email and tell me what the next steps were and, what was due and by when, and I would do it. And, finally they're like, hey, so we've accepted you into the program. And I was like, wonderful. And they were like, all right, now you got to pay for it. And I was like, cool. Okay. Yeah. And I misread the payment schedule. And when I realized that I misread it, I was like, oh, holy shit. Where am I going to get the rest of this money from? I have 2 kids. I have 2 businesses. I work full time. I'm blessed to be able to rent the house that I'm in. However, I am the only adult, not even working adult, but the only adult in our residence. So everything, all the bills, everything falls on me. And my budget just doesn't have that swing space. Like, mind you, I'm just now really getting my footing into the IT industry and making some really good money doing that, which means that I'm recouping my credit still. I'm paying off things. I just finished my master's more than 6 months ago, which means that Sally Mae is here. And I'm just like, how the hell am I going to pay for this? All right, let's figure it out. So I reached out to my network. I know a few of you guys may have seen it, but I posted on my social media pages to my emailing list for Teddi Rene, for United Kweendom, and for Paraphernalia University. And I basically said, hey, so I have this wonderful opportunity to get access and to become a part of this amazing network that will allow me to take United Kweendom to the next level. If you would, donate $1 or $2, whatever you can spare, I would greatly appreciate it. And I did that, and I was able to raise a decent amount of money, a couple of $100s, to cover a portion of the payment, but there was still so much more left. When I tell you that I am learning the true meaning and definition of if God says it will happen, it is for you, and you will be where you're supposed to be. I mean that. And this is why. Again, there was no evidence that I should even have been a part of this, right? Nothing in my background says this girl is going to grow up and be a tech startup. You know, she's going to be a tech a founder of anything, let alone she's going to get accepted into this great program and into this wonderful network. And now there's absolutely no evidence that says I was going to come up with this money in the time that I needed it. But God said, yes, it will be. It is for you. You are meant to be here. And he made it happen. And he made it happen through some of those same people that helped me on my journey from, my paraprofessional career or job and, using my psychology degree to, transitioning into tech and getting my finances together and all those things from previous years. There are... And I don't want to mention their names because I'm not sure how comfortable they are with letting people know that they gave me this money and loaned me this money. You know who you are. You are amazing. You know how much I love and appreciate you and your support. And I just, and they know, and I hope they know that anything that I can ever do for them, I will always do so and continue to do so. But there are two people within my personal network. One was just like, hey, so, I can't really give you all of it, but if you want, my organization can loan you this and, here's a flat interest rate, pay it back by X day with, X amount. And if you'll take it, let me help you. And I said, absolutely. And mind you, I chose the payment plan option, right? So every time a payment was due, I had to come up with this amount of money. That covered the first one. Wonderful. Great. Cool. Now how am I going to get the next one? Right? So here's a second amazing individual in my life who was like, hey, so let me know what you have by the day before it's due or the day it's due, and I'll see what I can do. So I said, all right. So there's every segment of time that goes by, I do what I can to keep raising funds. I'm reaching out to other people and I let this person know this is how much I have. And they say, okay. And literally they were just sending me money for this, like what the difference was for that payment. So, all right, do it again for the next payment. Let me know. And was very true to that word, to have been able to cover what I consider to be a significant amount of money. Like I don't know many people who are not family, and even some people who are family, who would donate, loan, give the amount of money that people gave to me to complete this process. And I'm super, super, truly humbled and just grateful for their belief in me that says that this money is not going to go to waste, that I trust her, that she's going to do what she has to do. And then not only that, but for the one who loaned me the money, that I trust her enough that she's going to pay me back, not just me, but my organization. And that if that wasn't enough, I get to the final payment, right? So me being me, loan some money to someone I care about very deeply because they were in a bind. And from loaning that money to them, they were supposed to give it back in time for me to have most of what I needed for the final payment. They did not. And in true form, I'm, sitting there just kind of assed out, like, oh my God, like I've wasted these people's money. I'm not gonna be able to finish. I need this. And then I thought about it and I said, you know what? I'm not even going to stress. It is what it is. I remember sitting on the edge of my bed and I said, Father God, thank you for this journey so far. Thank you for all the lessons that I've learned and everything that I have accomplished up to this point. Thank you for those who supported me and believed in me. Thank you for, every learning experience that you've placed me in. I truly am grateful. If this is for me and I am supposed to be here, thank you for making a way for me to do this. And I said, amen. And I went to sleep. I slept so peacefully that day. The next morning I wake up and I told my accountability group within the program, hey guys, so, I'm short on this last payment. probably won't be able to, stay in this. It was a pleasure meeting you guys. We'll see if something comes through or not, but right now it's not really looking too well. I just didn't want to leave you guys hanging and not let you know what's going on. And they said, okay, we really enjoyed meeting you. We really appreciate it. Say it ain't so. Like, we get it. We understand. And I was like, all right. And I just went on about my day, right? These amazing human beings that God blessed me with and put in my group decided amongst themselves that they were not only able but willing to cover the rest of my tuition. And I literally sat at work like in tears because I don't know these people, right? Like if you look at my quote in our Medium article about our graduation, it says, I now know what it feels like to have strangers genuinely care and support you, because these were strangers, right? So I was just like, wow. Like, God, I'm really supposed to be here, huh? Like, I'm really supposed to be doing this. And in that moment, I immediately recognized some of the things that God had done in my life. Like previously, my ego and my pride would have told me to turn it down. I would have said no. I probably wouldn't even have taken the money from the people in my personal network that gave me the money. I probably would not even have posted on any of my social media pages saying, hey, could you guys donate to this because I really need it. And this is a really great thing, not just for me, but for everyone connected to this idea of mine. But I definitely would not have been able to take that type of money from complete strangers, especially not knowing like when I'd be able to pay it back or if I'd be able to pay it back. And, God has worked on me over the years, humbled me, helped me become more humble so that I could see the blessings he was putting in my life and not turn them away because my ego or my pride said so. So in that moment, I immediately said, oh my God. Like, I see you. Like, I get it. Like, that's why that was so difficult then. So that now, even though I hesitated, I can, honestly just say, yes, I will allow you to help me. Thank you so much. And, it was crazy. Like, I'm on the verge of tears thinking about it, but shout out to Donna, Utara, Kenyon. Like, y'all are amazing accountability partners. I really, truly appreciate you guys. You guys are, my set of first, like a part of my first official investors in United Kweendom. And I promise you that is nothing that I will ever forget. Promise. Now ask all my friends and family. If I say I ain't going to forget it, good, bad, or indifferent, I will not forget it. Okay. So yeah, man, it's just, that was amazing. And then to be a part of such an amazing group of people, like the stuff. Oh my God, y'all. If you have not read the article, go to Medium, follow Mandela, read the article, Cohort 10. The things that my gym mates, my cohort members are doing, like they are truly changing, like not just like a niche or a demographic, they are changing the entire world. Like, oh my God, it's just too much. And every time I think about it, and I'm just like, wow, like I get to be a part of this amazing cohort of amazing people doing such amazing things. Like, look at God. Like, nothing was written that could have ever predicted this. And yeah, it's been an adventure. So what is next for me on this venture adventure? Well, next, you would think I would say fundraising, but not quite. United Kweendom is not quite fundraiser ready. We are planning to be fundraiser ready. We are looking into some alternatives to traditional pitching and things. And we are planning to fundraise somewhere between quarter one and quarter two of 2020. But what is most immediately next is I now have a co-founder. Thanks to Founder Jim and some of the coursework and the things that we talked about and went through, I realized some of the pieces that we were missing as we currently stand. So I made some changes. And a part of those changes was to bring on board a co-founder who is also highly versed in technology and finances, actually, to help with a lot of those pieces that are not considered my strength. In addition to that, I myself am going to finish something that I started years ago, and I am going to continue my journey to code, because why not? Like, I want to be as hands-on with this as possible, but not solely relying on my own skills and expertise. I don't want to leave that area as a blind spot for me, but I also don't have to be the only one. So also something else God has worked on with me over the years, and I am just enjoying all of the feel goods, the encouragement, the, conversations, the interactions with people connected to Founder Gem, and all of those wonderful resources and tools that I've accessed through the program. If you have the opportunity and what you are building is something that, you want to go far and fast, I implore you to look into Founder Gem. It's amazing. But not only that, really think about what it is, what impact you want this to have on the world. I guarantee you that if you feel like you're thinking too big, you're probably thinking too small. And I will say that is probably the biggest thing that I took from this whole thing, is that my initial thoughts, very, very first thoughts, because I'm someone who thinks big. It's like, go hard or go home and cry about it. I want to do everything, but within my own little lane, right? Lots of scattered thoughts and lots of things that may seem to be all over the place to other people. I have a way of bringing them together and creating a cohesive, workable unit of things that mesh very well together. I'm realizing that is one of my strengths. I can take 30 things that don't seem like they fit at all and tell you a complete story from beginning to end, where all of them are involved and absolutely necessary, and they work. So if you're thinking too big, or if you think you're thinking too big, you're probably not. And you're probably actually not thinking big enough, which is what I've learned about United Kweendom. I now have direction, guidance, thoughts, plans for future phases of United Kweendom. And the first phase was to do exactly what I said earlier today, and kind of not shut down the website, but to put a halt on what was United Kweendom phase 1 and start working on phase 2. So I'm telling y'all, it's going to be amazing. So again, if you are looking to change your life, if you are looking to transform in a major way in multiple life areas, I'm the first one to tell you that life and life issues do not happen and occur in a bubble, okay? They don't happen in a block. They go all over, right? It's not like a line, like a college rule piece of paper where life happens in between the top and bottom line. Life happens all over the sheet, okay? And when I say sheet, I mean shit. Everywhere. Never in my life has there been a time where there was just one thing going wrong. It was never just my finances, or it was never just my job, or it was never just my relationships, or it was never just my health. There has always been 2 or more components or areas of life that were affected at a time, or that required my attention at a time. And one of the hardest things about getting my life together was figuring out where to start. What do I tackle first? Is there a way that I can tackle more than one simultaneously without neglecting the attention necessary for any of them? And that is what United Kweendom is for. So if you are someone who, you want a better living environment, but you don't make enough money because the industry you're in isn't lucrative and is causing a strain on your relationships, and because you're stressed all the time, you're starting to have neck pains or health issues, and all of this while you're just longing to take that vacation you've been promising yourself since undergrad. That's a real life story. That happens, right? United Kweendom is for you, right? We're going to give you the resources to access, to address, and to overcome all of that. No, all of it might not be solved in one day, but you absolutely can make progress on your life, the full scope of your life, the full scope of your unique set of life challenges at the same time. Because again, life doesn't happen in a box. It happens all over the place, all at once most of the time. When it rains, it absolutely pours. Okay. And we want to help you build that umbrella so you can get through it and see clearly what your next steps are towards your ultimate life. Right. Also, like I mentioned earlier, a part of phase 2 will include a space for those who have expertise in, one or more of those life areas. A lot of times, what you'll see like on Instagram or with these influencers and coaches is that they'll start in one lane and they'll end up in a whole nother lane, but that doesn't change their expertise. They still have expertise in both lanes, right? So there may be, what is it? So, what is it? The six-figure chick. I follow her. I love her. Cece. She started with a juicing business, right? And through marketing and promoting her juicing business, something that she was interested in, something that was lucrative for her, something that was engaging for her audience, and that she was into for personal reasons, and that personal passion and desire and commitment to that came through. She could be an expert in juicing, different combinations, different flavors, how to do it, the best juicing machines, right? But from that experience grew her knowledge of marketing on Instagram. So now not only can she teach you how to juice for better health, she can also teach you how to build a business on Instagram, right? Her switching lanes does not make her less of an expert in either of those. It makes her an expert in both of those. And that a lot of times will happen. So if you are someone, an entrepreneur or someone who has an interest or a hobby that you know a lot about, come join United Kweendom. We are looking for tribe leaders. Join that waiting list, because as soon as we pop off what we got planned for you guys, I promise you're not going to want to be on anybody else's site. You're not going to want to purchase another subscription for nothing. You're not going to need to. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay? Guys, it's amazing, right? They say, be what you needed when you were a kid. I am absolutely always thinking about when I have struggles in certain areas in life as an adult. I always think, what could make this easier for me? How could this be better? And then, is that something that I can provide for other people? And United Kweendom, absolutely, the answer is yes. So that's what's next. So I don't know. So I am going to go ahead and wrap this up so I can get this out there to you guys. I gotta finish editing the next episode, y'all, for that's supposed to go live on Thursday. So it'll be out Thursday evening. You guys will be able to listen to it Thursday night and Friday morning. But so excited for you guys to hear that. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been rocking with me from the beginning, to everybody that helped me realize that this is something I needed to do, to, all the inspiration that I've gotten from everywhere, social media, real life, fake life, all of that in my dreams, Founder Gym, my accountability group, those two special people who helped me to bring this vision to life through my latest adventure through Founder Gym. Anyone who's ever clicked on, listened to the podcast, who's ever gone to the website, who's ever opted in and opted out of my emailing subscriptions, everybody, thank you. To all of the Facebook groups I'm a part of, to all of the Instagram groups I'm a part of, to the pods I'm a part of, to the mastermind groups I'm a part of, to the Queen's Council. Hello. All the podcasts I've listened to, all of the audiobooks, all the suggestions for books. Thank you all, because you are a very, very integral part of this journey. And this is why I always say about the podcast that someone out there is connected to this podcast in some shape, way, or form. And I would not be doing my due diligence, doing my service, or doing them any benefit by stopping this. As horrible as some people may think this podcast is, it brings me joy to be able to share my struggles, my trials, my tribulations, and share the people that have been presented to me. They are amazing women. They are doing great things. They are so inspiring, and we all can learn from each other. Founder Gym's motto is we all go up together. And it's very reminiscent of something that I've been saying for over a decade at least, right? As long as I can remember, that we're all in this life thing together, right? None of us get out of this alive, and none of us get to participate in this alone. Like, we are all literally in this life thing together. And I am not ignorant to that fact, and I acknowledge it and I appreciate it. And it is truly one of the greater blessings in this world. So All right, guys, that is all I'm going to do on this topic today. Email me, message me, DM me at Teddi Rene on Instagram, Teddi_Rene on Twitter, Teddi Rene on Facebook. The Kween Conversations podcast can be found at UnitedKweendom.com/podcast on Instagram, Twitter. We don't have a Facebook page for the podcast, but you can always find United Kweendom there at United Kweendom, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that. Bye, y'all. Thank you.